Dustin Lance Black is an American Oscar-winning screenwriter. He also happens to be married to Olympic diver Tom Daley, and last year, the pair of them welcomed their baby boy, Robbie, into the world. Gorgeous. But as well as being a dad, he's also written his memoir. Well, it's Mama's Boy. He talks about his difficult upbringing in Texas and the amazing story of his late mother, Anne. Dustin, it's great to see you. I read this at one sitting. And it's kind of like a lovely... It's your mum's story.
Yeah, I'm a supporting character.
You are.
I've demoted myself in my own memoir.
I know. It is about your mum. It's called Mama's Boy, and it is about her story. Your mum is amazing. She was told she'd never walk.
Sure.
She'd never get married, and she'd never have children.
She was paralyzed from polio from 2 years old on.
Wow.
And born into the poorest city in the United States, Lake Providence, Louisiana, on the south side of the river, being raised by a single mom, 9 kids. I mean, I always say I'm the luckiest man alive to have inherited who I am from my grandmother, Cokie, who I never met, who taught my mom not to listen to the doctors and the nurses who were saying certain things were impossible, that she would never have children. I proved that she beat that one.
She sure did.
And then my mother proved all of that wrong. She got married, she fell in love, she had children, she had an amazing career, and then she passed that stubbornness along to me, that anything is possible attitude onto me, and I'm so grateful.
Which is why you've achieved so much, I'm sure. Do you hear her sometimes saying to you, come on, let's get on with it?
Oh, yeah. No. Especially when I get down on myself or I get a little depressed and don't want to do the work that I know I need to do to make things great, I can hear her voice saying, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Get out there.
But when you had to come out to her, you had to tell her that you were gay, it wasn't an easy conversation, was it?
Absolutely. My mother was incredibly conservative.
Right.
She was Mormon. She worked in the military. We were raised in Texas. She was taught her entire life that being a gay person was wrong. You'd go to hell. There was something mentally wrong with you. You were a criminal. So when she found out I was gay, I didn't tell her.
Right.
I was too afraid to lose her. My mom was my foundation. We were each other's foundations. She raised us as a single parent. My little brother was 2. I was 6. My big brother was 10. We had to raise her as much as she was raising us. We needed each other. So although I'm this kid who went off to Hollywood and fought for gay rights, and she's this conservative, we always had to figure it out. We had to figure out where are the bridges between us? How do we get along? How do we have those tough conversations? How do we hear the things we don't necessarily want to hear from each other and still maintain a close and loving relationship? That's the reason I wrote the book, because I feel like people aren't doing that right now.
No, that's true. That's true, and that is remarkable, because you know you could have painted this as if everything was fine and it was lovely, but it's so honest, and that's why I had to read the whole thing at one sitting. Also, the story about your brother as well, which is tragic. Your older brother. It's so sad, and the effect that had on your mum as well.
Well, it defied all the stereotypes, my big brother. Not to ruin too much of the book, but my mother had a tough enough time understanding who I was. And she did the hard work and showed the courage and curiosity to learn about gay people. And that started to change things. And then, to challenge that, my big, tough, hunting, watching race cars go around in circles, big brother came out. I mean, he didn't fit a single stereotype. And it did become tragic, because unlike me, where I've been able to live my life, he came out so late because of the fears around it. That he didn't get to live his, because he sadly lost his life shortly after it came out.
So sad. It's a remarkable story. She did love your Tom, didn't she?
She did.
She did.
You know,
she was sort of looking him up, wasn't she, on Google, and thinking, he's rather
he was smart enough to come out to our family home in Virginia for Christmas and to do all the Christmas cookies and do all the traditions. And I wondered if my mom liked him or not, because she didn't like my boyfriends before him. And I found her in bed on her iPad one night, and I just looked at what she had been searching, and it was pictures of Tom in his Speedos.
Well, she's not the only one that does that, frankly.
I know. Like mother, like son. So I think I got her stamp of approval on Tom.
No, it's really good. How are you two? How's the baby? How's things? How's life?
The baby is great. I mean, he's almost 1 year old. Can you believe it?
That's nearly 1.
It's insane, isn't it?
Jeez.
So I think he's up to 8 teeth. He's starting to stand. I just, it blows your mind. I have these new set of eyes that I get to see the world through. And things like curiosity are returning to me. I mean, it's so wonderful.
You do see the world in a different way, but do you think you'll have more?
Yes.
Yeah?
I would love to. I mean, listen, I was raised Mormon by my Mormon mom.
Right.
You can take me out of the church, but you can't take the church out of me. Like, happy to have a dozen.
Babies.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll start maybe with number 2 at some point.
But how do you work
soon.
out the childcare? Because obviously he's got to be training, of
Yeah.
course, and looking ahead to the Olympics next year. You know, that's all happening. Do you split it pretty much?
we don't. Well, because he needs his rest in order to be safe at practice. So he works out 6 days a week, which is insane.
Huge commitment.
I know. I guess that's what you need to do to get those abs. I'm not doing it. So I do the night sort of whatever. If he wakes up or needs to be fed, I'll do that 6 days a week, and then those blessed Saturday nights. Because he doesn't have Tom doesn't have practice on Sunday, so then I get to sleep throughout the night.
Oh, nice.
It's great.
That's very good. And then you need that because you need to make time for one another as well. Because because babies, of course, take up all your time, and that's quite right. Do you think? Because I know, and the book does deal with it. It is a brilliant read, by the way. I know.
Thank you so much.
It's very cinematic. I could almost see it. There's no, there's a reason you won an Oscar for writing. There is a reason for that.
Stay tuned. We'll get the movie going.
Well, it'd be great. It would be wonderful, wouldn't it? What a part that would be for any actress to play your mum. Do you think we're getting better? Do you think we're getting somewhere? Do you think as far as gay rights goes, as far as human rights goes, for everybody? Do you think?
Well, I like that you say as far as human rights go, because it's not just gay people who are seeing the pendulum of progress swing back right now. We are in a backswing when it comes to progress on civil rights, on equality for people who've been treated differently historically under the law and society. It's up to us, as people concerned with the treatment of our neighbors, to lock arms and to push back and to make sure that this swing back of the pendulum of progress goes forward again. It's the nature of civil rights. We always have to defend our gains and continue to push forward. Right now, undoubtedly, we all need to push forward again. And I say this, when people say, well, this is a minority thing, I say, think about it. Every single one of the people on the planet, the people watching right now, is a minority in one way or another. It just depends on how you slice the pie. Everybody is very different. That's what's spectacular about life. We love those differences. Now realize, take your difference and lock arms with someone else who's a little bit different. And let's move forward together. Understand that their rights and your rights are connected.
Oh, you're a wise man. Do you want to be Prime Minister?
I think you could use some help here.
There's a vacancy.
I heard there's a vacancy.
And the candidates aren't all that wonderful, I have to say.